welcome to the 185th edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Bruckert, and I'm coming to you live here from Casa de Bruckert. We're going to be having another outstanding beer today. This beer comes to us from the Tampa area, Cigar City Brewing's Fair Exchange. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what Fair Exchange is. First of all, they list it as wheat ale, okay? And you notice with the wheat ale, we've done the Cigar City Florida Cracker, which is their like Hefeweizen. They call this one a wheat ale, meaning I believe that you're going to get kind of a hybrid between like a wheat beer and a regular German ale is what I think we're going to get out of this beer. And I'm not going to kid you, I've had it before, but this is one of their newest beers, or one of their newer beers, I should say, not brand new, but it has not had enough ratings to actually be rated on Beer Advocate. So we're going to go off of the reviews that we've seen on Untapped, okay? All right, so right off the bat, okay, you get a beautiful head that seems to be retaining very well on there. I poured it into this glass because I think this is going to be a little bit more of an ale than a true wheat, so I didn't pour it into a Hefeweizen glass. I poured it into more of an ale type snifter. And then you see this beautiful orangish golden color. So just a beautiful beer to just sit and look at. But you know, that's not my favorite part of beer drinking. My favorite part of beer drinking comes in to the tasting of it. So before we do that, before we get into my favorite part, let's talk about the smell that we're going to get out of this, because I think this is going to be a pretty unique beer, and I'm really excited about having it again, because I remember the first time I had, which was not that long ago, it was very delicious. Okay, so let's smell it. So right off the bat, I'm getting these the smell of some good German like malted wheat, and the ale, which they're using a German ale yeast, and I get that. You get the smell also of like honey. They must use the honey to kick up the alcohol percent in this, because the alcohol percent in this is at 7%, which is really high for a wheat, and would fall like a lot more into the ale kind of category. So they must use the honey to increase the, oh, but it is nice. The smell is just delicious. Now, I also get like like you would get from a Hefeweizen, I get a light banana bread flavor, almost like a banana bread. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I almost get a scent of like a apple or some kind of like fruit. Like I think it's apple is what I'm thinking. That's what it smells like. And then at the end, you do get like a little bit of a peppery finish, like you might get in like a Hefeweizen. You know how the Hefeweizen has like a kind of a little bit of a peppery finish in it, and I kind of get that at the tail end of the smell. Yeah, very nice. I'm excited about this, and the reason I truly believe this is honey, I'm gonna have to go back and read a little bit about this, because I guarantee you it's got some honey in it. I've always been a big fan of the Orange Blossom Pilsner, especially the squared, which they use the honey to kick up the alcohol on that one up to over 10%, I believe. But that smell, I get that same fresh honey smell like you get from the Orange Blossom. Let's see here. I'm just looking here to see if it says anything about honey, because I'm almost certain I smell honey in there. I don't know. I'll do a little bit more research on it, but I definitely smell honey. So let's waste no time. Let's dig into this because this is going to be a treat for us. Outstanding. Now, I definitely taste honey because I know there's honey in there. So even though I didn't read it here anywhere on the can, I do know that there's some honey flavor in this beer. Maybe used to kick up the alcohol content, is my guess. I'm sitting here looking. German ale yeast and barley wheats, malted barley wheats. Okay, so malted wheat. Definitely, you can taste the malted wheat in there, and you do get the banana flavor. It's very light. I think one of the pronounced flavors in this is a light, the honey mixed almost with like an apple. Because I smelled what I thought was like an apple scent, but when you drink it like this, it's pulling through some kind of apple type flavor that I'm getting out of the beer. I don't know. I mean, my taster's usually pretty good, but I definitely taste some honey in there, and it's like a good ale. It's got plenty of malted wheat in there. It's just a beautiful, well-balanced beer. I mean, this is something, it clocks in at 7%, but if you were to just drink it, I mean, you do get the alcohol flavor. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know that you're not drinking a Coors Light or something like that, but it's a smooth, well-balanced 7%. So, yeah, to me, just drinking the beer, if I didn't know, I mean, I would call it more, it tastes to me more like an ale than like a true wheat ale. But wow, what a delicious, and if you want something that's different, kind of out of the ordinary, that has a great flavor, man, this beer is solid, rock solid. Now, I don't know, I did see something about they had this at ABC. We had our friend Alvaro was at Cigar City Brewing the other day, and he brought this back for my wife, and I had to beg and plead to get one. But anyway, the beer is just, I mean, I think it's delicious, and it goes perfectly with my Cigar City Brewing shirt that I'm wearing today, with the beautiful Cigar City logo here. So anyway, just a great beer. I mean, I talked a little bit about like the peppery finish on the back end, and it is light, faint, peppery. I think it's just enough to where it balances the finish out. Because so it's not like super sweet on the end or anything like that. So you're not getting at the end, you're not going to have a lingering, apple honey type flavor, but you do get those flavors, but it doesn't finish that way. So it finishes a little bit light peppery, which is perfect. That's the way a beer should end. It shouldn't end, you shouldn't have like residual taste of whatever that is in your mouth when you drink a good beer. So hats off to Cigar City. Once again, they've created another masterpiece. I do believe that Cigar City, if I remember, I read something the other day, I believe they are the largest, or was it? I think they're the largest as far as volume of beer of any of the breweries in Florida. I could be wrong. It could be Funky Buddha. I know it's either Cigar City or Funky Buddha. I can't remember. But I read an article the other day which made me think of that. So just make sure you check out Cigar City. If you're ever over in Tampa, it's not in Ybor City like you might think. The brewery is actually kind of off of downtown, but not on the Ybor City side. It's on the other side over there, closer to what's the name of that road? Anyway, I can't think of the name of the road. But anyway, make sure if you're look up Cigar City. I've been there. I've been to the brewery. It's an awesome brewery. They got great food and great beers. Some of their barrel aged stuff and some of that is just, I mean, world class, phenomenal. But their everyday beers like the Cigar City High Life. I don't know if we've ever done a beer issues on High Life, but I've got a keg of the other wheat, the Florida Cracker. I have a keg of that right over here that I'm enjoying. Very, very solid wheat. But I was excited to try this, and now I'm like almost thinking, gosh, maybe I should have got, if I could have found it, a keg of this because it is so delicious. But yeah, definitely a great beer. And if you're in Tampa, make sure you check out Cigar City because they make really, really good beers, and they're always rotating them. Always, beers. They got their core beers they put in cans, but they're always rotating something special that they're working on over there. Okay, so make sure you check it out. And make sure if you've enjoyed this and learned anything about beer or about Cigar City, that you tell your friends about beer issues and how much fun we're having talking about beer and drinking great beer. And then also, if you want any cool beer issues gear like t-shirts or hats, go to shop.beerissues.com. And as my wife likes to say, I have beer issues.